Hello children, today I will do with you the story A Face in the Dark. It is a very short and simple story and you will be able to prepare it easily for the exam. The story is written by Ruskin Bond, an Indian author of British descent. He is a prolific writer, a very productive writer whose works are popular with adults and children alike. In the following story, the writer relates a thrilling incident set among the beautiful hills around Shimla. Mr. Oliver, a school teacher, is on his way back to school late one night when he meets a strange young boy. The encounter fills him with terror and he takes to his heels, only to discover that there is no escape for him. Ruskin Bond makes skillful use of all the elements of a horror story, that is fear, surprise, suspense and mystery, to explore humanity's collective fascination with the dark. The author has made a simple plot and ordinary setting look extraordinary by giving it a supernatural touch. The supernatural atmosphere is created by the elements like eerie sounds of the pine trees, batteries of the torch running down, flickering light, silent sobbing, lantern swinging in the middle of the path, and the wind blowing the lamp out. In this way, the writer has tried to create suspense in the story, and it is a very interesting story and you will surely like it. Now I will continue with the story. You may follow in your books, children. A Face in the Dark, written by Ruskin Bond. Mr. Oliver was an Anglo-Indian teacher, and once he was returning to his school late one night, and this school was on the outskirts of the hill station of Shimla. Now from before Kipling's time, the school had been run on English public school lines. That is, it was run according to the schools in England. And the boys, most of them from wealthy Indian families, wore blazers, caps and ties. And a magazine called Life, in a feature on India, had once called this school the Eton of the East. Eton is a town in South England, and here there is the famous Eton College, which is one of the most prestigious high schools in the world. So this school in Shimla has been compared to the Eton College in England. And Mr. Oliver had been teaching in the school for several years, for many years. The Shimla Bazaar, with its cinemas and restaurants, was about 3 miles from the school. And Mr. Oliver, a bachelor means he was not married, usually strolled into the town in the evening. So he didn't have much work in the evening, so he used to just stroll out into the town. That is, he just walked about casually, roamed about casually in the bazaar of Shimla. And he used to return after dark, and then he would take a shortcut through the pine forest. So in the evening he used to go and go for a stroll in the bazaar, and then when he used to return, he used to take the shortcut through the pine forest. When there was a strong wind, the pine trees made sad, eerie sounds that kept most people to the main road. So when there was a strong wind blowing, the pine trees used to make a sad, eerie means frightening sounds. And because of this, most of the people kept to the main road. That is, they always used to travel on the main road. They never traveled through the forest during night. But Mr. Oliver was not a nervous or imaginative man. But here, Mr. Oliver was not a nervous. He was not afraid of anything, and he was not imaginative also. Imaginative means he didn't imagine things like ghosts or something frightening or anything in the forest. He was not afraid of anything. So he just used to travel in the pine forest, even in the dark. He carried a torch, and in its gleam, the batteries were running down, moved fitfully down the narrow forest path. And he used to carry a torch also, and but that day the batteries were running down, so it was not shining that brightly, and its gleam, that is the light from the torch, moved fitfully. Fitfully means unsteadily down the narrow forest path. When its flickering light, then all of a sudden what happened? The flickering light fell on the figure of a boy who was sitting alone on a rock. And then Mr. Oliver stopped. Boys were not supposed to be out after dark. Now, Mr. Oliver thought that this boy sitting on the rock was from the boarding of his school. And according to the rules, boys were not supposed to be out after dark. So, Mr. Oliver stopped in order to ask the boy, in order to talk to the boy. "What are you doing out here, boy?" asked Mr. Oliver sharply, moving closer so that he could recognize the miscreant. So Mr. Oliver moved closer. He went closer to the boy so that he could recognize the miscreant. Miscreant means the person who has done something wrong. So he went closer to the boy in order to recognize him, and then asked him what he was doing out there. But even as he approached the boy, as he went near the boy, Mr. Oliver sensed that something was wrong. He felt that something was wrong. The boy appeared to be crying. He was crying. His head hung down. Now, note the description of the boy, the way the boy was sitting. His head hung down. He held his face in his hands, and his body shook convulsively. So this boy was crying and his head was hung down. He held his face. He was not showing his face. He held his face in his hands, and his body was shaking convulsively. Convulsively means violently, very badly. It was a strange, soundless weeping. What was weird about the crying of the boy? That it was a strange and soundless weeping. And this made Mr. Oliver feel distinctly uneasy. He became very uneasy. "Well, what's the matter?" he asked, his anger giving way to concern. "What are you crying for?" Now, seeing the boy crying, Mr. Oliver's attitude changed. His anger changed into concern. He was worried as to why the boy was sitting all alone there and crying like that. So he asked the boy what the matter was and what he was crying for, the reason why he was crying. The boy would not answer or look up. But the boy did not say anything, or he did not even look up at Mr. Oliver. His body continued to be racked with silent sobbing, and his body continued to be suffering. That is, his body was continuously shaking with silent sobbing. Sobbing means silent crying. "Come on, boy, you shouldn't be out here at this hour. Tell me the trouble, look up." Now then, again, Mr. Oliver said to the boy that he shouldn't be out there at this hour. That is after it was dark. Boys were not supposed to be outside the school, so he shouldn't be there at that time. "Tell me the trouble," He wanted to know what trouble the boy was facing, and then he told the boy to look up. The boy looked up. He took his hands from his face and looked up at his teacher. Then what did the boy do? He looked up and then he removed his hands from his face and looked up at his teacher. The light from Mr. Oliver's torch fell on the boy's face, if you could call it a face. So what did Mr. Oliver see? What did he see? He saw that the boy's face had no eyes, ears, nose or mouth. It was just a round, smooth head. No features on the face, but there was a school cap on top of the head. So it was a blank face with no features, no eyes, no ears, nose or mouth, nothing. And a smooth head with the school cap on top of it. And that's where the story should end, but for Mr. Oliver, it did not end here. So he was terrified to see such a thing. So then what happened after Mr. Oliver saw the boy's face? What was his reaction? The torch fell from his trembling hand. His hands had started trembling because he was so scared. And the torch fell from his trembling hand. And he left the torch and he turned and scrambled down the path. Scrambled means he moved quickly down the path. He ran, running blindly through the trees and calling for help. He just turned and started running blindly without seeing what there was in front of him. He just blindly ran through the trees and he shouted for help. He was still running towards the school building when he saw a lantern swinging in the middle of the path. And when he reached the school building, he was near it only when he saw a lantern. It is an old type of lamp that was used in olden days. It is burnt with the help of oil. So he saw a lantern swinging in the middle. Swinging means it was moving to and fro, from side to side in the middle of the path. Mr. Oliver stumbled up to the watchman, gasping for breath. Now, Mr. Oliver understood that it was the watchman because the watchman used to roam about near the school when it was dark with a lantern in his hand. So he understood that it was the watchman. So he stumbled up. Stumbled means he just ran unsteadily towards the watchman, gasping for breath, and he was in a very bad condition also. He had been running so madly that he was breathing in a very fast way also, gasping for breath. "What is it, Sahib?" asked the watchman. "Has there been an accident? Why are you running?" So the watchman was surprised and he just asked what it was. Was there an accident and why Mr. Oliver was running like that? "I saw something horrible. A boy weeping in the forest and he had no face." So Mr. Oliver told the watchman that he saw something horrible, and what was that horrible thing? He saw a boy crying in the forest and that boy had no face. "No face, Sahib?" Even the watchman said in a very surprised manner that no face. Then Mr. Oliver told him that yes, no eyes, nose, mouth, nothing. There were no features on the boy's face. "Do you mean it was like this, Sahib?" asked the watchman and raised the lamp to his own face. Then the watchman did something. And what did he do? He raised the lamp, that is the lantern, to his own face. He picked up the lantern to show his face. And he asked Mr. Oliver, "Do you mean it was like this, Sahib?" He showed his face and asked Mr. Oliver if the boy's face was like that. And what did when the light of the lantern fell on the watchman's face, what did Mr. Oliver see? The watchman had no eyes, no ears, no features at all, not even an eyebrow. So here Mr. Oliver saw that the watchman also was the same as the boy. He also had a face, but there were no ears, no features on his face, not even an eyebrow. And that's when the wind blew the lamp out. So, in order to create more suspense and fear, what happened? The wind blew and the lamp was put out. That is, Mr. Oliver was left in complete darkness. Now, we don't know. It is really terrible. Thinking also, it is so horrifying as to what must have happened after that. What must have happened to Mr. Oliver? We don't know what happened, because the story ends like this only. It is not ending properly. So we don't know actually what happened after this, after the lamp went out. Then we also don't know who the little boy and the watchman were, who had no eyes, ears, nose or mouth. So in a way, this story has left us in suspense. And thinking of all this, we are left in suspense with an eerie feeling. That fright is there, that fear is there still. Even after reading the story, we still keep on wondering as to what must have happened. So children, this is a short story, very simple and easy to understand. Learn all the important points, like who Mr. Oliver was, what type of school he worked in, where did he used to take a stroll, why, then how did he used to come back to his school, and then what did he see in the pine forest, then the face of the boy, his reaction on seeing the boy's face, and the other things which create suspense and mystery. Learn all these main points and prepare this story properly for your exam.